Hi everybody, it's Julie here and I am back with a new book. So if you have been following me, I have posted quite a few process videos where I take the book that I have been reading and I make a spread in this traveler's notebook insert where I have sort of where I visually represent the book that I've been reading. It's really great fun. I'm not going to pretend that they are the prettiest spreads or the deepest thoughts or anything, but they're really fun to make and you really get to sort of sit and ponder about the book that you have been reading, and I really like that. So the book that I've been reading recently is Persuasion by Jane Austen. It came out in 1818, so it's quite a long time ago. It's almost 200 years, but it's one of my favorite books. So the story about my relationship with this book is that I saw the movie, I really liked it, then I found it on audiobooks, which is an app where you can listen to books that are really old. I suppose there's something with the copyright where you can listen to them. So all of the Jane Austen books are there, and Shakespeare and Sherlock Holmes books and that kind of stuff. And I've been listening to this book. The one I have been listening to is read by Karen Savage, and I love her. I mean, her voice is so good. The way she does the characters, especially in this book, is just is really good. That's what I'm trying to say. And I've been listening to it so many times. Then this winter, I was in Gothenburg with my aunt and we went to the sci-fi bookshop. And it's a really, really great bookshop, especially if you like sci-fi, but also if you like books. And I found this book of Persuasion, and it's so pretty. I showed you in the beginning. It's the cover is green fabric with a white printed feathers on it, and I was like, I'm a sucker for good looking books. So like I have to get that one. So now in May or end of April I had some time to read it, and it is such a good book. I think some people might be a bit apprehensive to read all the books because of the language, and it is a big difference obviously to read a book written in the early 1800s. Do you say 1800s? 1818, whatever. Uh, the way English people count the years is so confusing to me. Um, but the early 18, anyway. It is a big difference in language, obviously. But I find it, and yeah, the spelling is a bit different too. And in the book that I have, which I think it's Penguin who has given it out, they have a lot of footnotes, and they usually mark out the words that are spelled differently. But because I have like dyslexia, I think her spelling is quite. I think it's really reasonable, if I may say so. Um, but yeah, it's a bit different, but I really enjoy it. I think the language is so beautiful, and this book in particular is amazingly thought-provoking, and it's a really fun read, even though the story is quite sad if you think about it. So, if you haven't heard about Persuasion or haven't read it, the book is about a woman who is Anne Elliot, and she lives with her father and her older sister. Her father is a baronet. Her mother had died, and she was the one who sort of took care of everybody in the family. And her father is not really that good with money, and they end up in money trouble and having to let out the house. And Anne is not really, they don't really like her. I think she's a bit different from her family. And when she was a lot younger, we meet her now when she's 27, I think. Um, she's still single and living at home. But when she was younger, she was engaged to this naval officer, captain. I don't really know what his grading was. Captain Wentworth is his name right now, anyway. and they are in love, but she is persuaded, hence the title, to give him up and not to marry him. And now when they meet 7 or 8 years later, or 9 years maybe, that detail didn't really capture my attention, and she realizes that she is still in love with him, but she doesn't know if he is. So this book is about a year where we follow them, and how Anne is sort of shuffled between houses because who is going to take care of her, really. They end up in Bath, where he also comes, and where she meets her cousin, and he wants to marry her because he is the heir to the baronetcy of her father. I'm doing a really terrible job explaining the plot here, I know, but it's a really, really good book, I think. You really get to follow her, and you get a sense of how society is, what it would have to be for a woman who doesn't have a husband to take care of her, who her parents or the one who does take care of her doesn't feel the same way, that she doesn't really have a choice. She just have to, if they don't want to keep her at home, she goes and live with her married sister, who is a bit hypochondriac, I think. And then they're like, well, now you need to come here, you need to do this. And I just think Anne Elliot is a really beautiful person. I think that she's really easily to relate to. She has this sort of, she has opinions and she wants to do what she wants, but she realizes that she really can't. She needs to do what the other tells her to do. But in the end, she sort of like realizes what's most important to her, I suppose. And it ends really happily, of course. I mean, Jane Austen books always ends happily. But yeah, and what I really like is that we follow this heroine, I suppose she is, and you sort of expect her to be perfect and beautiful and all of that, but she really isn't. And I think that is what I really like, that even though we really believe that she is perfect, I mean, she is, because she is Anne Elliot, but she has a lot of flaws and she's insecure, and but I think, I mean, that's what who we are. I mean, I am not perfect, but I'm perfectly me, and you are perfectly you with all of your flaws. And I think that is really amazing that someone can write this over 200 years ago, or almost 200 years ago, and I can still relate. I think that is quite magical, and the power of books, really. And I also have to mention, why I really like this book is, obviously it talks about society and relationships and character and how you develop as a person and all of that really deep stuff. But it's really funny. I mean, parts of it is really funny. And I mean, catch myself giggling at this book, and yeah, I cannot recommend it enough. I really like this book. I can, yeah. If you want to read a good classic book, then read this, because it's really good. So I've been jabbering on about this book. I don't know if I'm making any sense. The spread that I've made, I did struggle a bit. I don't know if you caught that. But I decided to add this roses that I've painted and was laying in my studio. And I really wanted to add in navy blue for some reason. I think it's the color that I'm getting when I'm thinking about the book. Yeah, and then I'm adding in some sentiments here that I think relate, and then I'm going to add in more journaling because I had to add some more. So for me, this, I mean, this spread, it doesn't really look the way I envisioned or wanted it to, if I'm honest. But the colors are the ones I wanted. I wanted to have navy blue, I wanted to have green and lavender. So I'm happy with it. I mean, when I look at it, I think about the book. So anyway, so if you're interested in reading this book, I highly recommend it. Or if you want to listen to it, because I don't know how you are, but when it comes to summer, I actually prefer to listen to books. I think it is so I can lay out in the sun without getting those white marks on your arms. You know what I mean? I don't think that will be a problem because it's just raining here. But anyway, go to audiobook or search audiobooks. It's a blue app anyway. And just type in Jane Austen or Persuasion and I think you will find it. Or search, you go on the computer and search, you can actually search for Karen Savage. I highly recommend that because she is a really good narrator. So anyway, that is all for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've liked this video. And if you like the video, please hit the like button or subscribe if you want to see more. And I can tell you the next book I will be doing is a few weeks from now, I think, will be The Time of My Life by Cecilia Ahern. But I haven't finished the book yet, so I hope to see you then. Bye!